Welcome to On Air with Russell of Hotels, where we talk about everything hospitality, from hotels to influencers and everything in between. We will feature guest interviews with hospitality professionals who will share their experiences. Your host, Russell Edmond, has spent over 25 years in the hospitality industry, beginning his career with Marriott International in hotel operations before moving into the sales arena and becoming a relationship-building director of sales and marketing. Russell then went to the other side as a hospitality entrepreneur. He now consults in the hotel and meeting space, which includes being the CEO of Russell of Hotels Group. Did I mention he was a veggie foodie? Yes, Russell is always looking for good non-meat eats. Please welcome your host, Russell Edmond.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels live hospitality talk show. Today is Tuesday, November 16th. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey, right? This journey, about an hour. I appreciate you guys joining me for just this brief hour just to talk about some hospitality related stuff. So I do appreciate it. I don't take it lightly that people actually will, tune in and want to hear what the heck I have to say, and see me, right? See me and, with my backdrops and, see that I'm in. Who knows where I am? You guys even know where I am today? What the backdrop is? It is actually, I'll tell you because you probably don't know, it's Cabrillo Marina, which is in San Pedro. So it's right overlooking, this picture was taken from the balcony, if you will, or the restaurant patio area of the DoubleTree San Pedro Hotel. So there you go. That's where I am. And did you guys know, just a fun fact, I used to be the director of sales and marketing there, just in case you did not know that. So there you go. All right. So you got a little fun fact and you got a good view. I'm all about the scenic things, right? So if I can be next to a hotel, that'd be great as well. But it's all about the destination, right? The hotel's a byproduct of the destination. Okay, so destination first, hotel second. Okay, anybody agree with me? So anyway, thank you so much. I know I said it already, but thank you so much. I appreciate you guys joining me today. Let me click on my thing here, and it says On Air with Russell of Hotel, show number 134 and counting. Hashtag Hospitality Unplugged, which means we talk about everything hospitality, the good, the bad, the ugly. We talk about trends. We talk about trade shows that are going on or maybe just ended, the state of the industry, if you will, what's going on with, the post-COVID. I guess we keep saying post-COVID, but we're still in COVID, right? But hopefully things are in our rear view mirror. So, it's not in our face like it has been before, and we're trying to get back to business. Never going to be business as usual, but let's just say getting back to business as we know it today, which is different than what we knew, yesterday, right? So always remember that it may not come back. Well, I'm not going to say, you know what? It's not going to come back the way it did. Okay, I'm just going to make that bold statement. It's not going to come back the way it did, but that doesn't mean we can't adapt and move forward with a different agenda, if you will, right? So there you go. That's my 2 cents. Hashtag Hospitality Unplugged. So anytime I end a posting on my social media pages, it's always hashtag Hospitality Unplugged, because that's what it's all about, right? The good, the bad, the ugly of hospitality. Most of it's all good, but every now and then we got to deal with some mess. Okay, I don't have to tell you guys that. Some of you guys are on property and you're dealing with people, you're dealing with clients. Anytime you throw that the people aspect in there, there's always some crap going on. So we'll just say that. But hey, we're live on LinkedIn, and I had a little issue, not an issue, but they did log me off. I was like trying to get on. I'm like, well, why can't I get on? But for some reason I got logged off of LinkedIn. So, but I'm back on, it doesn't take me long to figure it out. That's for sure. So we're back on, and anyone wants to come on and make comments, you're more than welcome to do that. I am waiting for your comments. I have a phone going on here. Oh, let me Let me turn my volume down over there. Lonnie Wolf is back. Good evening, Lonnie Wolf. I do appreciate you. He's in Florida. He's always he's a mainstay here. Okay, he comes on and he gives me comments and things like that, feedback, and that's what we want, because I want this as interactive as it can be. We have Zayna Usher. Hey Russell, nice to see you. Nice to see you too, Zayna. Thank you so much for joining. I guess Zayna and Lonnie know each other because they're talking back and forth on the feed, right? So there you go. We like that. We like that too. So where is Zayna from? Zayna, give me a geographical location. And at the very, like I said, the very least, people that make comments, you get a shout out. Okay, so there you go. And whatever your brand you work for, you get a shout out on that too. Because you got to remember that this thing stays, on LinkedIn forever. And I not only put this on LinkedIn, it goes on Facebook, it goes on YouTube, wherever else, I decide to put it on too. And then it's a podcast as well. So it's a podcast on Spotify, Pocket Cast, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Apple Podcasts. So those things last forever. Born and raised now in beautiful Cali, originally from Germany. Okay. Am I saying your name right then? Is it Zayna? I just want to make sure that I don't like mispronouncing people's names. So I want to make sure I get that right. Not that I can understand it if she wrote it on pronounced it, in letters. I don't know if I could do that, but she said born and raised, and I guess in Germany, originally from Germany, born and raised, now lives in beautiful Cali. Okay, so nope, I'm not saying it right. Okay, I'm sorry. Zayna. I have a cousin named Zayna. I mean, it's spelled the same way, but the little thing on top of the Z, I don't know what that's supposed to sound, what sound that's supposed to make. It's Shanna? Okay, that's interesting. LOL, you that is fantastic. Okay, so hopefully I'm saying that right. Shanna. Okay, that's interesting. See, I didn't even know that, right? So they put the little thing on the Z and it's pronounced differently. It's not Zayna, okay? It's actually Shanna. I like that. So where in Cali are you living, Shanna? Oh, Russell, hospitality is large. Best. What does it say? I'm reading comments now, just so you guys know, and for the people that are on the podcast, people are putting in comments, and I want to make sure I address those comments because, like I said, the show is interactive, and that's what we want. So I want to read Lonnie's comments. Is Russell, hospitality is large, and the best of us get to know each other. Shanna is okay. So Shanna works with Lonnie, I guess. Okay, all right, and okay. So a lot of hospitality is large and best. Okay, all right, sounds good. Okay, very good. Yeah, that's what hospitality is all about. It's all about everybody knowing each other. And if you did know each other and you're on the show and you're making comments, well, introduce yourself to each other because and make a connection, because that's what it's all about. That's what Russell of Hotels is all about. Trying to make that connection, that intimate connection with everybody. But anyway, let's move on. Okay, so I don't run out of time here. Well, I never run out of time, but I don't want people to log off without hearing the show. You know what I mean? So there you go. So once again, show number 134. Real quick, I want to quick shout out to my sister, Marsha. She took my brother and I to a Chargers game the other day, right? I've been to SoFi Stadium, which is new here in Inglewood, right outside of LA. Where the Rams and Chargers play, the Los Angeles Rams and the Los Angeles Chargers. That's where they play. And this is the first time I've actually been to an event there. I mean, I went there for the grand opening or the pre-opening and all that kind of stuff. But this is the first time that I actually been there for a game. And it was great. So I want to once again shout out my sister Marsha for treating my brother and I to a game on Sunday. It was great. We had a lot of fun. It's always just good to hang out with your family, right? So they came up because I'm the only one who lives in L.A. My My brother lives in Blythe, which is where we're from, and my sister lives in Riverside. So they had to travel. I just had to go to the game. You know what I mean? So they stayed here and all that kind of stuff. So that was great. So thank you so much. Industry news, 2021 Hospitality Index, 50 most influential hospitality leaders. It's an award, a distinction, whatever, given out. I happen to be one of those 50 most influential hospitality leaders for 2021, domestic, meaning here in the States. So I do appreciate the International Hospitality Institute for, throw me on that list. I do appreciate that. If you're looking for a guest for your podcast, I would be delighted to invite. I'm in Long Beach, the LBC. Okay. All right. I know the LBC. I know that LBC very well. So I'm going to put up my information here. Russell at russellofhotels.com is my email address. So if you wouldn't mind shooting me a quick email, give me your bio and all that kind of stuff, and we'll look at it and we'll see, if we can make some stuff happen. So thank you so much, Shanna, for putting that out there. I do appreciate that. We welcome guests all the time that come on the show and talk about my thing is, when I first started the show, it was about, it's for hospitality professionals, right? It's about hospitality professionals, but it's for people also that don't know about the industry at all, right? Or they need assistance with maybe booking a hotel room, or what's the best hotel room to do this, or what about meetings, how to book a meeting, how to find someone to help you with your meeting needs and things like that, because I do that as well, right? So I'm not just a show host. I'm a former director of sales and marketing, former general manager of 14 different hotels in the Los Angeles area. So, if I don't know something, I can find it out, right? So it's the show's made to be a resource for some people. It's a place where hospitality professionals can come on and talk about and brag about themselves, right? Especially like salespeople. Okay. They love to, I would hope they do. They love to talk about themselves. They love to brag about themselves, so they can come on and talk about themselves, their brand, which they are the brand first, right? And then they can talk about the brand they happen to work for. So those are the things that, I kind of embrace and welcome people to come on and talk about things like that. So that's what the show is all about, right? That's why I was started. I was start off being a market disruptor, meaning, do things that other people don't do, have a talk show, have a podcast. Everyone's not doing a podcast. Everyone doesn't have a hospitality podcast. So that was my way of being a marketing disruptor, because I wanted to get my name out there, my brand out there, and let people know what I do. So there you go. My email again. Okay, of course, I'm going to say it again. In fact, it's going to go up in a little while. Russell, RUSSELL, at russellofhotels.com. Okay, there you go. That's my email address. So, okay, IMEX International Networking and Trade Show. That was last week, right? So I got a lot of good feedback from that. Several people that I know, they went. They had a great time. They said it's about 13,000 people there. So, meetings industry is trying to get back to having meetings. Let's just say that, because everyone always wants to throw in that, or get back to normal, get back to business as usual. No. We're not getting back to that, but we can get back to having meetings, maybe in a different way, but we are going to get back to having meetings. So you're welcome, Shanna. But yeah, so we're going to get back to that. Cheryl, who is my meeting planner, friend, buddy, colleague, whatever you want to call it, she was there and she gave me a lot of good information, gave us a lot of good information, because we actually did a live last Friday and we talked about, the show, and, people are just happy to see each other, hugging and, oh my God, it's a family reunion, that kind of stuff. So that's what it's all. You ever been to, if you're not in hospitality, so you may not understand. So you go to these trade shows or these networking events, and you run into people that you haven't seen. Well, in this case, you haven't seen people in 18 months, 2 years because of COVID, right? And normally you would see them at least once a year, twice a year at these different shows or events. So when you haven't seen them in a long time, you see them, and there's a there's a social distancing protocol, but all that goes out the window when you see people you haven't seen for so long and people you've been seeing for years religiously, at these specific shows, because I've been to that show, the IMAX show, at least 3 times. And some people I only saw during those shows, right? So, you see them once a year and you're like, oh my God, good seeing you, blah, blah, blah. You're hugging and all this kind of stuff. And, and there's just one of those things because hospitality people, they want to be hospitable. Okay. They want to go have a drink. They want to eat together, break bread. They want to do all that stuff. Right. So, Cheryl told me that's what was going on. I mean, like I said, I didn't get to go, but I can just imagine how it was. And, but people are just happy to see each other and, want to get business started again. Okay. Meetings, started again. So to me, this was like a coming out party, coming out of COVID, and going back to having meetings. So hopefully, that does occur in the coming months. I'm saying, hopefully first quarter of next year, some things start popping off or meetings start happening, things like that. So yeah, so it was good to hear what Cheryl had to say about, IMAX and things like that. But then I was reading some stuff, I'm always reading different industry things, and it had to do with IMAX and with some of the experts, the CEOs of the big hotel, the big box hotels, or the big 3, the big 4 hotel chains. And I'm just gonna share some comments from CEOs. Like there's a CEO of what is this? What is it? CEO of Professional Convention, PCMA, and I think there's a Steve Insuline. I can't even say Steve with Hyatt Hotels Corporation. So I'm just going to read these comments. I just thought they were interesting. And see, this one comes from, once again, Sharif Karamat. Okay, he says, we should be asking ourselves, how has our collective experience changed us? We will be evolving over the next few years. This is talking about, after COVID, okay, we will be evolving over the next few years. What does the next chapter look like? The story is still being told. So a lot of people don't know. I mean, we can be guessing. We can guess and say, oh, it's going to be like this, it's going to be like that. But the story hasn't been written yet. I mean, because we never been through this before. Remember that, right? So we're still trying to come out of this and we don't know what it's going to look like. So it's difficult to pinpoint trends at this time because significant change is slow moving. We've shifted from talk of climate change to climate crisis, and from resisting digitization to hyper digitalization because we couldn't meet any other way. Effects of the pandemic experience likewise will unfold gradually. And then Mr. Steve, who is the senior vice president of events for Hyatt Hotels Corporation, said, if anyone thinks we're going back to 2019, it's not going to happen. Supply chain issues will linger, causing rising costs, which will in turn affect choices of our meetings, such as food and beverage. But perhaps the biggest shift at hotels, he said, will result from staffing shortages, which, I've been talking about that for a while. We're going to rely more on technology, which another thing other people have been bringing up, the mobile check-ins through your phone, the keyless entry via your phone, things like that, to help simplify and make things more automated, like the check-in process or how you take orders through room service. Everything will be, some hotels, I'm going to say all of them, but eventually you would think most hotels will have to adapt to this. You're going to be ordering from a tablet or from your phone or a mobile device and things like that. So that's some of the things that they said. And then one other thing it has to do with competition for audience. I think people are going to be very selective about the events they go to. I used to travel every single week. I would be on the road all the time, and maybe I forgot how much I enjoy being with my family. Okay. Now I'm more selective about where I'm going to travel. And when I'm there, I'm really engaged and I really want to connect and understand other people's perspectives. So those are things that are going on. I mean, these are people from one person from PCMA, which is, one of the larger meeting organizations. And then one of the big four hotel companies, which is Hyatt Corporation. And, those are what they had to say about what's going on. And I assume they did like a general session at IMEX, and they talked about this probably in great detail. I'm just, using some bullet points and things like that to talk about it as well. But some of the things I've, it's easy to kind of to see what's going on because there's a lot of moving parts. It's fluid every day. Things are ever changing. And like this one gentleman said, the chapter hasn't been written. How this is going to play out, we don't know because this is uncharted territory and we're not there yet. Right. So, but having IMAX, I will say this and I will end this whole conversation on that. Having IMAX was a step in that right direction when it comes to meetings, right? So we know that hotel people are there, meeting planners are there, supply, let's not just say the hotel people, but there's hotel tourism boards, transportation companies, DMCs, all those particular organizations are there. And then the buyers are there, meaning the meeting planners and all those people are there as well. So those people want things to get started right now. The next step, I guess, would be what do the companies and the organizations want to do? The CEOs of those companies, when are they ready to go back to start having meetings on a more consistent basis? Or will they be meetings like we knew them before? Or will they be, hybrids, half people meeting in person, half the people meeting in, virtual? So we don't know that yet. I would say probably we should figure this out probably second quarter of next year. That's me. That's Russell of Hotels saying that. Okay. So don't hold me to that, but I think that's what's going to happen. So that's just me. So that was the industry news. I didn't click on my thing here. So anyway, so I have a couple quick shout outs. I got a shout out to Miss Sarah Dandishy. Okay. So Sarah, I got to give you a little, if you don't know who Sarah is, you should know who she is. She goes by on Instagram. Her handle is what is it? Oh my God. It has to do with concierge. I can't remember what it is. It's Ask a Concierge. Excuse me as I take a drink of water. So Sarah Dandishy goes by the name of Ask a Concierge. So she's a former concierge for a number of years. Her last hotel was the London Hotel here in Los Angeles or West Hollywood. Okay. Well, she wrote a book, right? So she stopped being that. She's now like I'm gonna say a global concierge where she does a lot of things with hotels. She has, clients that are hotels now that she is spokesperson for some hotels, throughout the world. And she wrote a book. It's called Hospitality from Within. I actually bought it. Okay. So thank you, Sarah. So proud of you. And I told you I was going to mention you on the show. I don't know if you're going to listen today or watch today, but I said I was going to mention you on the show, and and she just threw a, hearts and a smiley face and like, okay, yeah, sure you are. But hey, this is your shout out, Sarah Dandishy, for putting out the book. Can't wait to get it. I've already bought it. I pre-ordered it. And I said I want it signed, so she has to, sign it because I pre-ordered it. Okay. I think she probably would have signed it anyway. But no, just proud of her. She's from LA, not from LA, but I think she's from East Coast, but she lives in LA, been in LA for a number of years. Like I said, she worked at the West Hollywood, London Hotel for a number of years. In fact, that's where I knew her from. So, and she's done a lot of things in the industry. She has her own show. She does things on travel. She's been on countless, news stations or segments that have to do with travel. So Sarah Dandishy, she's someone that has her finger on the pulse of hospitality, and of course, hospitality from within. Okay, so she has that. So I know she can speak on it and speak on it well. So I can't wait for the book, Sarah. So thank you so much. In fact, I even have a little what it looks like. So that's Sarah right there. Now this is me right here. Okay, that's Sarah over there. Okay, that's Sarah right there. So so that's the cover of the book, Hospitality from Within, Sarah Dandishy. So there you go. Sarah is the best in her field globally. I have, what are you saying there, Lonnie Wolf? I have signed a book. Okay. So see, Lonnie bought one too. Okay. So everybody's buying one. So if you have not bought a book, go to, I think you can go at least on Instagram at Hospitality from Within. So she has her own page for this book. So at Hospitality from Within, you can find information about the book and you can buy it, and there you go. So Sarah, thank you so much again. And like I said, I told you I can give you a shout out. And another quick shout out to, and I didn't write this down because I just saw this before I came on air, Dustin Bass. Okay, he's a colleague. We used to work together briefly when I was at the DOSM at the Radisson LAX some 150 years ago. He's now group sales manager. I think he just got this job. Maybe I just saw it. Someone just posted it a couple of days ago, so it's relatively new. I want to say the Bergion Hotel Bergion is downtown. It used to be the Lux Hotel. It was formerly the Lux Hotel downtown LA. So now it's the Bergeon. So I'm saying Bergion, or whatever. I don't know. That hotel, Dustin Bass is at that hotel. So he's the new sales manager there, group sales manager. He was formerly at the Sheraton LAX, okay, right there on Century Boulevard. So, I got to give people shout outs. When I find stuff out, I have to give people shout outs because I think it is the greatest thing. Lonnie Wolf said on Rapesh's show last week for my engage. You were on Rapesh's show last week? Okay, I love Rapesh. I mean, he knows his stuff too. Okay, so were you on the show or was Sarah on the show? I'm not sure what he's saying, but Sarah's been on every show. Okay, and in fact, Sarah has been on my show twice. Okay, so before she became this global icon in the travel space, when she was still at the London hotel, she came on my show, and I said, you know what? And I told her, I said, I need to give you some advice. You need to be a global concierge. You don't need to just be limited to local. And she goes, yeah, you think so? I said, yeah, I think you do. And she just blew up. All of a sudden, she just blew up. It's funny how people that have been on the show have just blown up to be things that they probably not even thought they would have been. But because, the exposure, that's what I'm talking about. So Sarah's been on the show. A young lady by the name of Jeanette Seha has been on the show, and they have both just exploded, to territories unknown, right? So just remember that if you want to come on the show, just be ready for what's going to happen, okay? Because you're going to blow up, and there you go. So, and ask Sarah. If you don't believe me, ask Sarah, ask Jeanette, okay? Who's hiring? Okay. Oh, no, wait. I missed something. See, you guys have got me discombobulated again. Increase your social media. And, one thing about, Sarah, she knows how to increase her social media engagement. Okay. So when she has things coming out, she makes sure that everything goes on either Instagram or different social media platforms, because that's how you get things out. How else would she get out that, she has a book coming out? You have to use social media to your advantage, right? So she wants to get her brand out. So she does things on social media. She does shows on, or does groups on, Clubhouse. She does all these different things, right? So those are things that I have always talked about. I'm a big proponent of, as Sarah. So just make sure, if you want to increase your social media engagement, I'm always, throwing out tips on how you should do it or how you can do it. More lives, do reels, Instagram reels, do YouTube shorts, do things on LinkedIn like this. This is a live on LinkedIn. I mean, you have to be out there in order for people to know what you're doing or to see you or not forget about you. You have to do those things. And Sarah is a good example of that. So just remember, if you don't believe Russell of Hotels, ask Sarah Dandashi what she does to get her information across, or whatever she's trying to do. What does she do to do that? She uses social media to her benefit. So her brand has blown up because of social media. And my brand has blown up because of social media. I don't think without social media, I'll just be Russell. Okay. Which is still okay. Right. But you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So anyway, so those are things that I use. I use Reels. I've been on people's podcasts before I started my own podcast. I was on a couple of podcasts, which gave me the idea to do my own podcast. So if you're trying to increase your engagement, you're trying to increase exposure, you want people to know who the heck you are, do lives, do Reels, and come on a podcast or do your own podcast or whatever. So those are things that you could do to increase. I guarantee you it will increase your engagement and your exposure. So there you go. Who is hiring? Who's hiring? You need a job. No, I don't even know where that came from. But Dream Hotel Hollywood, they're looking for a senior sales manager and a sales manager. So that's 2 positions. Dream Hotel in Hollywood, which is one of those cornerstone hotels, new hotels in Hollywood. They're looking for a senior sales manager as well as a regular sales manager. Okay, so that's on LinkedIn. So check that out on LinkedIn. Pacifica Hotels, the Pacific, what is it called? I want to say the Marina Del Rey Hotel. They're looking for a general manager. Marina Del Rey is, right outside of Los Angeles, sits right on the water. Beautiful hotel. It's managed by Pacifica Hotels. That position is on LinkedIn as well. So make sure if you're looking for a GM position, you may want to check out that hotel. I think that location is great. Hyatt Valencia, they're looking for a director of sales and marketing. That was on H Careers. And then the Beverly Hilton, they're looking for a director of sales and marketing as well. And that was on H Careers too. I didn't put that down, but yeah, it's on H Careers as well. So Beverly Hilton, director of sales and marketing. Hyatt Regency, director of sales and marketing. Pacifica Hotels or the Marina Del Rey Hotel, they're looking for a general manager. And then the Dream Hotel in Hollywood, they're looking for 2 positions, a senior sales and a sales manager position. Okay, now hold on one second. I got to read this comment from Lonnie. I won the book for my engagement on the show. Oh, okay, for your on the Rupesh show. Okay. Yes, Rupesh does a show on LinkedIn probably every day, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he's involved. He knows social media too. Rupesh knows social media too. They've been on Clubhouse. They do all these things. In fact, that's how I met Rupesh early on during when Clubhouse was just coming out. I mean, I always followed him on LinkedIn because he has a lot of great information. He owns a hotel, and I believe he's in Florida as well, but always has a lot of good information, revenue management. I mean, anything you want to learn, Rupesh is your dude. I would listen to his show. Ivy Mansfield, the lady in red for Virgin, is great on promoting for Virgin Hotels. So Ivy Mansfield, the lady in red for Virgin Hotels, is great on social media promoting Virgin Hotels. There you go. So check that out and check her out. So one time per day. Okay, he's on Wednesdays. Okay, so Rupesh is on Wednesday. But yeah, so I know those guys. They do a great job. I appreciate what they do, and they keep things hospitality. They keep hospitality rolling. It's everybody's job to keep hospitality rolling, right? So, Rupesh, Sarah, who else? And guy, I can't think of the show. The other show that comes on. It's 2 guys. The guy Hotel Impossible, Anthony. Melcori, whatever his last name is. He has a show too. Him and Glenn, I can't think Glenn's last name either. Glenn Houseman. So Glenn Houseman has a show with Anthony. They do a great job as well. So there's a lot of people that are keeping hospitality going during this whole COVID thing. And they appreciate it because I watch their shows too. I get ideas from their shows, right? And I think we can all glean off of each other because we're doing it for the greater good. And that the greater good is the hospitality industry. So there you go. Isn't that good how I just tied that in there? Okay, so non-meat eats. Okay, let me take a drink of water before I get into this non-meat eats. And that is water, okay? So it's nothing other than that. So non-meat eats. So after the game, right? The game's in Inglewood, SoFi Stadium, right? Went to the Charger game. I think I mentioned that earlier. So after that, we go to this restaurant because I'm all about non-meat eats. I don't eat meat. I'm a plant-based eater. That's it, right? But, it's amazing how many restaurants now, especially in LA, they have a section on vegan or non-meat eats, plant-based eating or whatever. So we go to this Mexican restaurant. It's called, we call it Fiesta or Martin's restaurant, but I think it's Martin's restaurant. Okay. Martin's. Okay. So they have like several Fiesta Martin, Fiesta, whatever. And then they have this new one that just opened. This is my first time there. Nice restaurant. It's a Mexican, for the most part, it's a Mexican restaurant, but they have other options. So they have vegan. They had a vegan burrito that I got that was just off the chain. Okay. But they have sushi too. And so they have other dishes. They have like American dishes, and they have Japanese dishes because they have a whole sushi bar in there as well. So you get Mexican food and sushi in the same place. Okay, so where is that other than LA? Okay, but no, it is great. So after the game, go to Martin's on La Brea Boulevard. It's just not too far from the stadium. I would say it's within a mile and a half of the stadium, but it's on La Brea in Inglewood. So that's where we went for after game meal. In fact, my mom paid for it. Okay. So thank you, Mom, for paying for us for dinner. That was great. So we do appreciate that. So, but yeah, so Fiesta, I'm sorry, it's called Martin's, if you're, a gringo, or Martins if you, speak Spanish like I do. Okay, there you go. Oh, boy. Okay. So don't forget Shanna and I. Okay, of course not. Send me information and we go from there. If I think that's what he's referring to. So, where are we? Hotels, are we being consistent with our content and messaging? What that just means is whatever your protocol is, make sure that is on your website. Okay. Because, last thing you want is for your website to say one thing and then you go to the hotel in person and it's saying something else. So on your website says, we don't wear a mask. Okay. We got away from the whole wearing mask thing. Okay. It's okay to just walk in and whatever. And then you get to the hotel and then people are wearing masks. Well, I would be ticked off. Right. So make sure whatever it is, whatever those protocols are, just make sure they're consistent. Whatever is on the website is consistent with what is reality. Okay. That's basically what I'm trying to say. My thing. What is my thing? What does Russell of Hotels do? So I'm not big on elevator speeches, but if that's what people kind of understand. So if I had an elevator speech, I would say, in a noisy digital space, I keep your brand noticed. That's what I do, right? That's one of the things that I do. My job is to make your brand noticed via social media. Okay, so whatever that is, like say Cabrillo Marina wanted me to do some social media things. Well, one thing I'm doing right now is showing that the picture in the backdrop, that's Cabrillo Marina. So if they wanted, a sponsorship or whatever, I'm keeping their brand noticed because all I'd had to do is put Cabrillo Marina at the top though, and you would see where I am, right? So that's how I'm keeping this brand noticed. So the same thing I'm doing for Cabrillo Marina, I do for hotels, travel brands, or whatever. So, part of being a disruptor is doing things that you don't normally do. Okay. It's going against the grain, if you will. Everyone doesn't have a podcast or a hospitality talk show, and everybody's not appearing on a hospitality talk show or a podcast. Okay. So if you did that, that's being a marketing disruptor. Isn't that what you want to be? Isn't that what you want to do? Martin's Cocina. Okay. Thank you, Sonia White, for clarifying that. Is it Martin's or Martins? Which one is it? Cocina. So Martin's Kitchen is what Cocina stands for, just in case you didn't understand Spanish. But Sonia White, can you let me know what is it pronounced Martins or is it Martins? I just want to make sure I'm correct, since you're letting me know that it's actually Martin's or Martins Cocina. So there you go. But whatever it is, it's on La Brea and it's great and you need to check it out, especially after a game, right? And they have a full bar. So if you didn't get enough to drink at the game and you want to drink some more, They had a full bar. I didn't drink when I was there, but I saw that they have a full bar. So, I mean, and the grade is just, I mean, the place is just great. I love that. I love the atmosphere, the decoration, the decor of the restaurant, the flow, the feeling, the vibe, all that stuff is great. So if you're ever in Inglewood, especially after a game at SoFi Stadium or an event at SoFi Stadium, or just driving through Inglewood like you normally would do, check out Martin's or Martine's Cocina, okay, or kitchen. Okay, so there you go. Where am I now? See, people take me off my game here. They throw up something I didn't see. But yeah, so that's one of the things that I do. Hotel site selection is another one, which means meeting planners, they need assistance with finding a hotel for their meeting or convention or retreat. My job is to find it. I source out the RFP on their behalf. So we use a thing by the name of CVent. We put that out to hotels or the CVBs. They respond, they send those to the hotels. The hotels respond back to me with their proposals. I go through those proposals, compile them, and put them in a report for the meeting planner. And then they go through and say, okay, I like this one. What do you think about a better rate on this one? So my job is to go back and negotiate the rate, negotiate the terms, for the agreement, the contract, and all that kind of stuff, right? So that's what I do. So that's another thing. And then, of course, I'm a show host, okay? So show host, top 25 international hotel podcast. Did you know there's somebody out there that's ranking podcast, okay, internationally, okay? So Russell of Hotels is one of those top 25. I used to be number 11, then went down to 17, and now I don't know where I am now, but hopefully I'm still on the list. So it doesn't matter if I'm number 1 or 25. As long as I'm on that list, that's all that matters, right? So, but I want to thank whoever selected that, and I'm not sure how that happened, but I'm just thankful that I am on that list. So thank you so much, and I appreciate the people that tune in, that support the show week in and week out, and make comments and all that kind of stuff. So I do appreciate it. I do not take that stuff lightly. So I appreciate that. Let's see. Okay, so I talked about sponsorships, and like I said, Cabrillo Marina, they could be a sponsor, and that this would be their backdrop, right? Only thing I would have to change is that, let me just type in, Cabrillo Marina, and that would be it, right? So this backdrop has been there for the whole show. So roughly an hour, that backdrop will be there. So just say that, your hotel wanted to do something like that, or you have a grand opening or something like that. Well, this is a great time to do it, a great media to do it on, right? Because like I said, once the show's over, it stays on LinkedIn, it stays on YouTube, it's on Facebook, it's on wherever, Twitter, whatever. So, and then for eons. So there you go. So in fact, I have an example of a video that I did for somebody. Okay. So bear with me. This video is about a minute, maybe a little longer than that. I tried to cut it down, but I couldn't. Okay. So bear with me. And for the people that are on the podcast, just bear with me. I won't be talking, but there is music involved in this particular video. Okay. And I'll come right back after it's over. Boom. Okay. So just imagine I did that video for you, right? For your brand or whatever. When I talk about keep your brand noticed, or you need to make sure people notice your brand, that's by far better than some TikTok video, right? Okay. So, but that's what it's all about, right? It's about putting your brand out there, staying consistent, staying relevant. I mean, that's what it's all about. And that's what I try to do with brands. And if you can see that my brand was in there too, right? It wasn't just for that particular hotel, but of course you see who did it. And that's, Russell of Hotels. So, it served two purposes. It served purpose for the Hotel June, which is in LA, and then served purpose for me. Russell of Hotels. So there you go. Thank you so much, Lonnie. I appreciate the comment or the fist pump. So that's it. And then there you go. That's my email address. If you have any questions at all, how I can do that, how you can be a sponsor, come on the show, whatever, just Russell at russellofhotels.com is the best way to reach me. So there you go. What's the next thing? Follow me on social media platforms. LinkedIn is at Russell Edmond. Okay. RussellEdmond. And then IG, YouTube, and Twitter are all at Russell of Hotels. Okay. So that's how you can find me on the social media platforms. I'm pretty active on all of those. Like I said, this video will be it's live on LinkedIn. It will stay on LinkedIn, and it will be on YouTube as well. And I use Twitter, although Twitter, I don't know, Twitter's been kind of funky lately. I don't get the reaction or the engagement, or I don't get a lot of anything from Twitter anymore. And I don't know if it's because I'm not using it as much. Well, if I'm not getting any engagement, why would I use it? You know what I mean? But I still put things on there, but I just put things on it just to put things on there, because I don't get, like I said, there's nothing growing on there. I'm not getting any more interaction, any engagement, no more followers. In fact, I'm losing followers for, like I said, for whatever reason. I don't know, but okay, I'm gonna still use it just because it's there. But I don't understand what's happening with Twitter. So if anyone knows, let a brother know, because he needs to know what's going on with that. Let's see. And yeah, at Russell Hotels. I said that already, didn't I? 4 things to ask yourself. Now we're winding down the show. So 4 things you should always ask yourself. And I always say, as a marketer, as, director of sales and marketing and general manager of your hotel or whatever you are, or for your own brand, ask yourself these. Is it 4 questions? I think I changed it to 3. No. Okay. No, that's something else. Okay. All right. So I'm getting myself mixed up here. So, okay. These are 4 things you should ask yourself. What is your brand doing to stay relevant? Or what are you doing to help your brand stay relevant? I mean, those are, and I'm not going to answer these questions. These are questions for you to ask yourself. Okay. So what is your brand doing to stay relevant? Some people, they want to do TikTok videos. Okay. To keep their brand relevant, That's why people do certain things, right? They want to be noticed. They want to stay relevant. So what are you doing to keep your brand relevant? And if that's your personal brand or your professional brand. And if you're in charge of your professional brand, what the heck are you doing? Okay. Are you doing the same thing you were doing before? Because if you are, that ain't going to work. And that's number 2. Are you marketing differently or the same as before COVID? Okay. Number 3, how are you connecting with your past or current clients or customers? Have you reached out to them? How do they want to be reached out to? Do they want phone calls? Do they want emails? Do they want text messages? Do they want DMs? I mean, those things are important because, we're sending things out to people and they are not responding. You're like, well, do they still work there? Well, yeah, I hear they still work there, but how do you know how they want to receive unless you ask them? So when you have that conversation with them, however that is, if that's phone, text, direct message, just confirm that this is the right way to get a hold of you, or this is the way you want to receive message, because it's not about us, right? It's not what we want to do, or it's more convenient for me to call them. Well, they may not want to receive it that way. So just ask. It's okay to do that. Okay. Double branding. Yes. Lonnie Wolf says double branding. Yes, I agree. Number 3, how are you connecting with your past or current clients? I did say that already, right? So how are you connecting with them? And number 4, what has this situation taught you? That means the whole COVID thing. Has it taught you don't put all your eggs in one basket, do things a little different? What has it taught you? Okay. To me, it taught me that I need to get my brand out there to everybody. I need to be more consistent with social media. That's what it taught me, right? So even during COVID, when no one was doing anything, that's when I started doing more shows or more lives or whatever, because just because hotels aren't open doesn't mean that it's not going to rebound, right? Eventually it's going to rebound, and you still need to put things out there for people to see, okay? For my clients or whatever, or maybe I'm trying to get new clients. You have to put things out there. You have to stay consistent. And that's why the show is still consistently at 1:00 Pacific Standard Time every Tuesday. And it's been that way for going on 3 years. I mean, that's all about consistency. So the same thing with social media and your postings. Make sure you stay consistent with your posting, because one time, if I did this show one time, I did it like once a month. Who would remember that there was a On Air with Russell of Hotel show? I just did it, or I just posted one thing every month. I'm going to post something. No one's going to see it. No one's going to remember it, right? So you have to be in people's face when it comes to social media. You have to put things there often, okay? And you want people to start making comments, make things where people will make a comment, or just like I said, the whole elevator pitch thing where, what was it called? Let's see. I'll go back to that. Come on. I'll go back to that. It says, in a noisy digital space, I keep your brand noticed. Say I'm in an elevator. Let's just say I'm in an elevator. And I said that. Who would just say, oh, really? Okay. And keep moving. No one would just keep moving. They would ask you the question, what does that mean? Right? Can you explain that a little more? Can you expound on that? I'm really not following what that means. That's why I put it the way it is, okay? Because I want people to ask, which means you get engaged with people, okay? So we need to be more engaging with people, okay? So let's get back to that. And yep, we just went over that. Branding. What is branding? And I keep mentioning in this, and I'm going to read what branding is, or at least my definition of branding. Branding is the process of giving a meaning to specific organization, company, product, or service by creating and shaping a brand in the customer's mind. The objective is to attract and retain loyal customers and other stakeholders by delivering a product that is always aligned with what the brand promises. A brand essentially is a promise a company makes to its customers. The purpose of branding and marketing is to establish trust within your customers and create loyalty. Your brand not only gives your buyers a way to remember you, but it also creates an identity for your business and sets you apart from your competition or your competitors. That's what you want, right? If I'm the Marriott and there's a Hilton across the street, I want to do something different, so you come to me and not to them. Right? So that's what branding is. Branding is not selling. Selling, okay, let me click on that. Okay, well, what is selling then? Okay, selling is a marketing function that involves determining client needs and wants and responding through planned, personalized communication that influences purchase decision and enhances future business opportunities. Okay. And then the last, but certainly not least, when is marketing about you? I mean, we talked about all this stuff, but when is marketing about you? Does anyone know? Marketing is never about you, okay? So just remember that. Marketing is never about you. It begins with your audience and what they want. Once you know what your audience wants, connect them with a product or service in a way they want to receive it, in a way they want to receive it, not the way you want to give it to them. I remember being in meetings, right, as a director of sales and marketing, right? And, and shame on me for years ago thinking that it's up to us to tell people what they want. That's not how it works, right? You have to do your research and see, okay, how do they want this? How do they want to learn about our hotel? And how, and that will tell us how we should sell it, right? So it's branding first, selling second, right? So right now, during during COVID, we should have been branding, right? Putting information out there so people know where you stand on certain things. I mean, that's basically, that's how people form an opinion on your company or your organization. Like, what do you do? What are you doing for this? What are you doing for that? We stand for homelessness. Okay. Oh, well, really? I give to a homeless organization. So, I love that. I love that hotel because in my mind, their branding message is that they do things for the homeless population. Okay, that's great. So that's what people want, and that's what people jump on board with certain brands because of what it may, the product or service will play a part in there, but there's something that's going to have to get to them, going to hit them in their heart before they start buying things from you. Okay, that's just how it is. That's just how you look at certain things. We drive by billboards all the time, right, on the side of the freeway. But do you always buy things on that billboard? You just see something, a message or whatever, okay, coming soon, or just do it, whatever, okay. That's a branding message. That's not putting a shoe up there to say, okay, this shoe is $29.95 at Big Five. No, it's just a message because you'll see like, just do it, just a swoosh and whatever. Well, that's a branding message, right? Or Coca-Cola, coming up on holidays. One of the biggest things Coke does is those polar bears, okay? Polar bears drinking Coke. What does that have to do with you drinking it? I don't know, but it's a branding message, right? But when you go to the store, subliminally, you're thinking about that commercial. Like, oh, I need to get some Coke. I may not even drink Coke, but guess what? I'm going to buy some Coke because of those darn bears and those darn polar bears on, skiing or whatever the heck they're doing. I mean, that's been going on for years. Coke doesn't have to sell another product, and they'd be doing okay, right? But those are branding messages. Coke and the holidays go hand in hand together, right? That's it. They're not trying to sell Coke, but you do, as a result of seeing that branding message, you go out and buy Coke. So those are the things, right? So, boy, there you go. So that's it. That's all I got today. But I want to thank you guys so much for joining. But I always end with these three things before we get off the show. This is called the Russell of Hotels, the 3 Ps. Now, it used to be 4, right? But last week I got rid of 1. Okay. I'm like, I need to just condense this to 3 Ps: purpose, passion, perseverance. Okay. So purpose, know why you're doing what you do. Okay. I do think props Russell on show today. See you next week. Thank you so much, Lonnie Wolf. I do appreciate you. Tuesday, we're dying sooner. Yeah. When you're in LA, we'll go to Martin's Cocina. Yeah. We'll have a margarita and a vegan burrito. Okay. But no, thank you so much, Lonnie Wolf, for joining me again. I do appreciate you. And as well as, it's not Zaina, it's Shana. And she told me that's how she pronounce it. And I appreciate her doing that. Sonia White, I want to appreciate you. I do appreciate you for joining in and telling me it was Martin's Cocina. Okay. And for people who didn't know, Sonia is my wife. Okay. So, I didn't even know she listened to the show or watched the show. So there you go. All right. Well, let me get off this show. So the 3 Ps: purpose. Know why you're doing what you do. Number, like purpose. Like, why am I doing the show? The show is for hospitality professionals to come on and talk about their brand. It's also for me to talk about trends in the industry, what's going on with COVID. Those are the things, different hotels that I go to, hotel site selection, whatever it is. Those are the reasons or the purpose of why I do the show. Passion, either you have it or you don't. I think I got a passion to do the show. Okay. I look forward to it every single, I wish I could do it every day, but I can't do it every day. But I look forward every week to doing this. So yeah, I got a passion for it. So either you have a passion for doing something or you don't. So if you don't have a passion for doing certain things, don't do them. Perseverance, be consistent, continue to evolve, don't give up, and swerve when you need to. Okay. So on air with Russell of Hotels, we swerve, we don't pivot. we swerve. Okay. So, but you got to be you have to persevere through some tough times. Use time to develop yourself, separate yourself from the pack, learn something new, invest in yourself, and always stay relevant. And focus on what you can control. The other crap, just let it go. You can't do. What can you do? You can't fix it. So just keep it moving. So that's it. I want to thank you so much for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels live hospitality talk show. We'll be back on next Tuesday at 1:00 PST. Any questions at all, you can always hit me up, russell@russellofhotels.com.
Thank you for joining
That's my email.
On Air with Russell
Peace.
of Hotels. Please tune in every Tuesday at 1 p.m. as we talk to other hospitality professionals. Your feedback is important to Russell. Feel free to email him at russell@russellofhotels.com with any questions or suggestions. Until next time, try not to be a person of success, rather become a person of great value.